Hi and welcome to all the racing fans around the globe joining us for this pre-recorded show. We are recording on Wednesday for the Thursday meeting, which is at the Vaal, the 9th of October, and looking forward to some decent racing. On the line is the resident expert, Alistair Cohen. Firstly, Alistair, how are you doing? And then secondly, just having a look at the card. I think there's a few bites we can have where we can make some money.
Yeah, Sheldon, all good. Thanks. Trust you and all the race goers are well. On the back of what was a good Saturday at the Big T, finding Baynack at 16 to 1 would have made some of the viewers quite happy, although it doesn't seem like all of them can be happy. But yeah, you found me well, and hopefully this card goes according to plan. I must confess, I've set up a bar pot and I've got one banker, and I guess the open nature of half-felt cards at the moment is to be expected because horses are prepping going into feature races, etc., etc. And you get days like this. For example, the Pinnacle Stakes, which is race number 5, that's as good as a group race. We got Grade 1 winners in the field, so it'll be interesting to see how that all works out and who's fit enough to go. Interesting card. Take note though on the original track and the way that the course is set up, just like last week, I'd anticipate high number draws down the straight are to be advantageous. So bear that in mind when going through the card. But interesting, I think the exotics will pay nicely, but by the same token, I don't think they're impossible to catch.
Well, talking about those hard draws, number 11, Queen of Pearls for the Mark and Matthew de Kock stable, ran second to Fish Hawk first time out, is your 9 to 10 favourite. Number 7, Come Together at 7 to 1, and a little bit of support for the first time, and number 14, The Reason, 10 to 1 down 7 to 1. What do you make of number 11, Queen of Pearls? A good second first time out, definitely going to build on that, Alistair?
Undoubtedly the horse to beat, Sheldon. I would have thought 1,200 metres would be a bit on the sharp side. There's a lot of stamina in the pedigree, but she acquitted herself well on debut under Gaff in the arena, finishing a good second behind Fishhawk, who is a sister to Fair the Boa. The high number draw, the form of the de Kocks, the form of Callan Murray. I mean, Callan, for the last 7 days, has probably never ridden this many winners. And by the way, it was a pleasure to watch racing on Tuesday afternoon with... I thought the whole production was excellent, and Callan the de Kocks again with a good win in the first time, ovation start. Anyway, we digress. Number 11, Queen of Pearls, it's a pretty high standard on form on offer, and I think that she will be very, very hard to beat, and I think that she's worth a win bet in race number 1. Just a few pieces of consideration around the shop. I looked up the pedigree of number 14, The Reason, seeing as she gets Richard Ferree, and she's the only horse on the card that's coming for any significant support at the time of recording anyway, and there's a lot of stamina in that pedigree. That doesn't scream a winner on for over 1,200 metres, but the jockey arrangement in the form of Sean Terry is certainly noteworthy. Then we got 2 other first-timers who do make appeal, 6 Bosphorus Straight and 8 Duchess Die, although there's absolutely no noise coming from the camps. Number 10, My Queen Amanat, is related to long-distance horses in the form of Son of Raj and the other long-distance horse who was trained by Wayo Mumming, whose name currently escapes me. And then we got number 3, Savara's Princess, who looks like she's got form that could take her close, but her 2 good runs have come in maiden handicaps, and this is just a stock standard maiden, so she's on level weights with number 11, Queen of Pearls. I think it'll be hard for her to win, but she does have quartet claims. Win bet on number 11 in the opener, but a few interesting debutants and horses who could improve in behind.
On to race number 2, which is your suggested bet. It'll be the opening leg of the bar pot. Race number 2, all things being equal, off at 12:30, where number 11, Space Mission, as a 2-year-old, took on Elders, 16 to 10. Number 6, Geostorm, the first time at 22 to 10. Another first time at number 12, Stony Wood, is 3 to 1. And barring that, it's 10 to 1 and better the rest. Now, Alistair, the first thing is number 12, Stony Wood. We know the Lucky Hoodalaka stable. He knows how to get them ready first time out. And so to the Peter stable, number 6, Geostorm. Any word on the ground about these, or have you heard any whispers?
You want to know a crazy dynamic about this race, Sheldon? These 2 first-timers are related to Grade 1 winners. 6, Geostorm, is a full brother to Buffalo Storm Cody, the winner of the Mercury Sprint last season. And number 12, Stonywood, is a full brother to Dice, a Cape Flying Championship winner who runs later on in the card. So very, very excited to see both of them step out. And interesting that the market does speak fairly favorably about both of them. I've only gone with one of them in the bar pot. That's number 6, Geostorm, only because of the high number draw. Number 12, Stonywood, did rock up and win on debut. I wouldn't be blown away, especially with Richard Fourie in the irons. And I had a word with Lucky about 2 weeks ago at Turfentine, and he was moaning the fact that Craig Zaki was suspended, and he was hoping to get Richard to come up and ride Dice and a couple of others on the card. And this obviously counts as one of the others, and he wouldn't be using. Lucky uses a lot of good jockeys, Craig being his number 1, but it's not like he'd be short of being able to pick up anyone else to ride a full brother to Dice, and he's managed to get Richard on board, so that might be a signal of intent. But number 6, Geostorm, is in my play, full brother to Buffalo Storm Cody, high number draw, James De Harbour on board. I like the appeal that he makes, but number 11, Space Mission, on the form show is comfortably the most appealing option. Cabello Mazziniani on board for Sean Terry, a good debut behind Palace Prince. Palace Prince has gone up a few divisions, unlucky not to win the other day. He is a brother to MK's Pride, so also well related to a Grade 1 winner, and I think any necessary improvement will serve him well. Just a reminder about the bar pot rule. If you did end up with first timer, first and second, the first race runner home will do the job for you, and I'd be astonished if number 11, Space Mission, is not the first race runner home.
That'll take us along to race number 3, and when entering the zone of race number 3, the betting has number 1, Gimme For Sure, trading at 18 to 10. You mentioned the Mark and Matthew de Kock stable. Dazan Lowe's riding in this apprentice handicap, and Dazan Lowe, he had a double the other day for the first time on Tuesday, so he'll be hungry for some big wins, and this horse Gimme For Sure is at 18 to 10. Number 4, Blind Fire, is 5 to 2. Number 5, Time for Charity, 5 to 1, and then you can go 11 to 2 and better the rest. Alistair, in race number 3, this horse number 1, Gimme For Sure, first time out was impressive, and then second time out things seem to go wrong.
Yeah, she totally dropped the bundle in her second start. She made up a lot of ground, and she was probably caught up by the fact that she was a 2-year-old against older opposition. I know expectations were high for number 1, Gimme For Sure, but she never got into it, but she can only come on. Mention about Dejan Lowe, I thought his double, the first winner, I thought anyone could have probably got that one home, but I thought his ride on Roller the Viking was particularly impressive because he sat stock still, let the horse find its balance, quick and naturally, and I like his style and the strength in the finish, so definitely an apprentice to keep an eye on his Dazan. Although I've left number 1, Gimme For Sure, out of my bar pot, but I do respect her chances. I would not leave her out the first leg of the Pick 6. I've gone 2, 4 and 5 here, Sheldon. I think it's a wide open race. I think it's probably the hardest race on the card despite the smaller field. Number 2, Opera Fan under James De Harbour I've got in. I thought the last one over Cassandra was good. Dropping in distance might give a little bit of a question mark, but if you consider the form to Tina Lovelace, I know we're going back a long time, and Tina Lovelace improved sufficiently to run a place at Grade 1 level at the end of KZN's champion season. I'd still maintain that run alone is good enough for number 2, Opera Fan, to be somewhere in the mix. If she does the one, I think she can go close, and I think coming out fresh might also serve her well. 4, Blind Fire is my top choice in the race. I thought her last run behind Malibu, who was fully trained by Lucky Hudolakis, was full of merits. Malibu, I think, is a very nice horse in the making. She's finished 3rd, 2nd. Hopefully that sequence will improve. Garish Samabertia, the leading apprentice in the country, takes a ride. So I think that she's well set up here. And number 5, Time for Charity, very much goes in my play as well. I thought she'd be caught out by 1,100 meters last time, and she was. Again, she was doing her best work at the end. Extra 100 will suit her ideally, and if you go back to the run to In the Ether on the 28th of August, there should be sweet little to chew between Time for Charity and Blind Fire. With that said, Misty Metal and Micker's Bomb were also in that race, and they shouldn't be totally discounted. But I think that Blind Fire will turn that form around. There was a quarter of a length in it and comes in here better off with the weight. So I think that Blind Fire will have the edge over Time for Charity, but I wouldn't rule off number 5 just because of the extra 100 meters. I think it will, from that run, extra 200 meters even better, I think will suit her nicely.
That'll take us on to the opening leg of the Pick 6, which is race number 4. 13:40 is the carded off time that the starter should say go. And renewing rivalry number 2, Francillian, who's currently at 15 to 10. did touch 16 to 10, open 12 to 10, so up and down in the market. Number 4, Kamati River, 4 to 1 now, 7 to 2. The money now is for number 6, Flight of Condor, 5 to 1, went 11 to 2, down 9 to 2, and then you can get 6 to 1 and better the rest. Looking at number 2, Francillion, and number 4, Kamati River, there's not too much to choose between them on the encounter.
Absolutely, Sheldon. They met also on the 17th of August, where Francillion finished in front of Kamati River in the 4-kilo claim. I think brings Kamati River again pretty much in line with Francillion. Short and sweet, I think they'll maintain form. I was very strong on Kamati River when she won last time out. To be fair, I think she got a bit of help from a loose horse on the inside, which helped her keep straight when Francillion was making a challenge over the final 100 meters. Francillion in her peak run might offer a little bit of encouragement to turn that form around. Even her penultimate start behind Pretty Persuasive, who I thought was gallant in defeat on Saturday behind Perfect Miracle, going to set her up nicely. I think they're the only 2 horses for me in the pick 6, only 2 horses for me in the bar, and I think they'll run 1-2. If you're asking me for one alternative, I'll actually throw in 2 alternatives. Place money, 3 Kindred Hearts. I thought that her 2-year-old form is going to bring her into the picture sometime soon. Her rating hasn't moved from her last start. She might need a bit of relief from the handicapper, but she'll run a lot better. And then number 8, Let's Go Lola, could be an alternative for Trifecta and Quartets. But I'm satisfied. 2 and 4, maintain form, and I think they'll run first and second again. But this time, I think the form might reverse.
There we go, maybe a form reversal, as Alistair says. Stepping on the gas and moving along to race number 5 over the trip of 1,000 metres. The betting says number 1, Dice, 2 to 1 down, 16 to 10. Number 12, Karate Kid, is the second favourite at 7 to 2. Mount Pinatubo, number 5, is 9 to 2. Number 2, Truth, and number 10, Sheldon at 8 to 1, 12.5 to 1, and better the rest. Now, Alistair, Lucky Hoodalakis, number 1, Dice, a 10-time winner, a better horse the connections could not have asked for, and Richard Faree, he's going to get the best out of this William Longsword.
Yeah, absolutely, Sheldon. He's a top horse. He's a Grade 1 winner. He's earned over 2.1 million rand. I know that he's setting up for the rest of the season, as are quite a few in this race. Pound for pound, though, for 128, easily the best horse in the race. His highest mark was a 130, which he earned for winning the Merchants, I think it was, actually, when he went up to a 130. He knocked over Thunderstruck, who was a champion sprinter of South Africa. Dice easily sets a very strong standard, and also his record shows that coming out fresh does suit him well, because he loves a break, comes out and really enjoys his racing. So he's the horse that I'm going to settle on as my top choice. But again, with all these horses prepping, you just don't quite know where they are. I mean, I know that it's not Truth's Cup final. Truth is having a go at the Merchants on Betway Summer Cup Day. His work remains out of the top draw. Sereno's going to be asked just to let him stride out in front, and he's a powerful unit, is the son of Heavenly Blue, so he can be quite dangerous if things go according to plan. The plan going forward is never again Hollywoodbets Greyville, never again Turfentine Inside Track, and unlikely to go 1,400 metres again, but we'll just keep that open-ended. You're going to stick to the sprints and stick down the straight for as much as we can. This is to set him up for races in the future. This is probably going to be a mini Merchants anyway, with Dice likely going there, Mount Pilates undoubtedly going there, Mount Pinatubo undoubtedly going there, and even a few down the weights, Shayavana, Sheldon, Dreamland, all horses, and Karate Kid, all horses will probably be earmarked for the Merchants. But Truth, doing very nice at home. I can't put anyone off, and simply I'd kick myself if he were to arrive and I didn't have him in, and I'd probably get lynched by some of the viewers. 5 Mount Pinatubo, he's probably the most rapidly improving sprinter in the race. I know he was beaten by Quantum Theory last time. Quantum Theory won the Spring Spree subsequently. I don't think he got the 1450 over the weekend, not now anyway. I think he's just condemned to race in sprints forever. From here on in anyway. Number 5, Mount Pinatubo, hard horse to leave out just because of his consistency, and another horse who can raise his A game coming out fresh. And then the lightweights of number 9, Dreamland, has also prompted me to put him in. He's a good horse on his day. He can muddle his form a little bit, and he does look held by Mount Pinatubo on a run on the 11th of May, but he comes in here probably a little bit more fit, and I think the lightweights is just going to assist his chances a little bit. Pick 6, a few more to consider, but bar pot 1, 2, 5, and 9. And I hope that's enough to get through. I've got a quarter of the field. It should be.
Next up will be race number 6, and when we look at race number 6, I'm going to ask you a few questions here, Alistair, because number 11, Palace Prince, as you mentioned, is exceptionally well related from 11 to 10 down 9 to 10. They are bidding 7 to 1 bar. Number 7, Birthright, number 12, Unsold Riddle, and then it's 8 to 1 and better the rest. The first question I'm going to ask you, how good do you think Palace Prince is? And the second question, do you think 9 to 10 is the right price?
So I think he's good, Sheldon. To what level of good, I don't know. And is 9 to 10 a good price? I don't think so, because I've got 3 horses in my play here. I'll tell you why I don't think 9 to 10 is a good price. It's his first time over a mile. Go watch his last run. I don't know how he ran second. He got done at the start. He should never have lost in a million years. But he was low flying, not the last 400. The 24.3 actually looks quite an ordinary last 400, although it was soft. The 200 to finish, on the other hand, he absolutely took off. Like I said, it didn't look like he'd run second. It didn't look like he'd actually run fourth going through the last 200, and he was a desperately unlucky loser. So he runs like he'll get the trip, but he's got a £3 penalty for being a loser, has number 11, Palace Prince. So that is a little bit of a worry. Bear in mind that he's also got one eye. He's clearly a lot better down the straight, sadly, which I think will compromise any type of progress for him to go around the turn and aim for serious races. Perhaps the Grand Heritage is going to be his real go, and I don't know, Syndrome Grey will have a plan, whatever that plan will be, and him and Peter Sunday and Oli are getting on very well at the moment. They've formed quite an interesting, unexpected and good relationship. So he is my top choice, but I do have a couple of question marks against number 11, Palace Prince. I think he's the type of horse, I think he's quite flimsy in the fact that he's got one eye, and I think if you trouble him in the early stages, he's a hard horse to get back on track and just build that confidence. If everything goes according to plan, he's my idea of the winner. My backup comes up in the form, I'm going to actually work numerically backwards. 7, Birthright, Kelvin Habib on board for Alec Laird. I thought his last run behind Press On Regardless was full of merit. He gave weight away to Press On Regardless. Press On Regardless has won twice since. The thing that worries me about Birthright is he is quite a fierce horse. He does take a hold. If Kelvin can get him just to drop it and relax down the Vaal straight, big chance, but if he does fight down that Vaal straight, he'll be dead in the water. But I think he's learned good racing manners of late. And then my value in the race, number 5, Mastership. I think this horse is cherry ripe now, Sheldon. 3rd run after a break, better last run behind Obsidian, and they tried blinkers for the first time. He's building into a peak. Yards come into good form. Marco van Rensburg's riding nicely. I mean, he's riding for Dean Canamere, for goodness sake. They would never have spoken to each other until a week ago. 5 Mastership, I think, is definitely the value in the race, and it could be worth taking a few swingers with the other 2 mentioned. A few horses that need a little bit further, so I'm kind of writing a line through some of those, but very intriguing 6th race on the card.
Every now and again, I have my 2 cents worth, and this horse number 1, Infinite Wonder, just having a look at the current price, is 16 to 1. Scratch number 2, Aladdin's Lamp. Infinite Wonder came back to his best last time when 4th. If you go back in his earlier form, feature raced a 107 average rating, a 103. He did run 5 lengths behind Dice over 1200. He's beaten Litigation over 1800. So maybe between number 5 Mastership and number 1 Infinite Wonder, some swingers and exactors.
And that swinger will pay very, very handsomely. Look, he's a Drama Star winner. He's an 8-year-old, very low mileage 8-year-old. As you say, Sounds of Life last time. I have no doubt that Mano Pandaram will have him in the Betway Summer Cup nominations as well. That's just what he does. He's definitely got the CV to be dangerous, but he's not the most reliable around. At his best, he could win this.
Excellent. Let's move along to the next race, and that'll be race number 7, where we do have 2 casualties in the form of number 1, Follow the Master, and also number 10. So take out numbers 1 and 10. Leaves us with 8 runners going to the post, with number 2, Page Boy, at 18 to 10. Number 4, Peace Treaty, 28 to 10. 3, Mizzen Sword, 33 to 10. And then it's 8 to 1 and better the rest. The favourite at 18 to 10 is number 2, Page Boy, Serena Mudley. He rides for the Sean Terry outfit. A couple of indifferent runs, but last time showed signs of life.
Time's done him a world of good, Sheldon. Little secret, I sent the owner a message saying this is my banker and my all-in on the card. owner thinks I'm mad. I like what I saw last time coming back from a break. Stayed on strongly behind an unbeaten horse in the form of Echo Check, who runs in a very hot graduation plate on Saturday. I wish it was the other way around for the sake of Page Boy, but it is what it is. Serena Woodley takes the ride. A little bit of an awkward draw around the turn, but I think the time off and the freshness last time did him a world of good. I think Sean's been a little bit underwhelmed by the fact that he wasn't as effective coming out of the maidens. He won a decidedly weak maiden, but Chieftain Shield won twice subsequently. He got to even be 3 times, but then he just completely lost his way. Maybe it all came a little bit too soon. Maybe a 14-pound penalty took the wind out of his sails, but I like enough of what I saw last time. It's the weakest opposition he's ever run with, and if he's in the same vein as he was last time out, I think he'll take a lot of beating. He's my banker on the day, Sheldon.
Then we move along to race number 8, and just having a look at this point in time, there are no scratchings with number 3, Kiss of Fire, quite short in the market, 15-10 down, 13-10. Number 8, Pomazelis is 3-1. 7, Instant Attraction from 7-2 out, 5-1. And then my lurker number 2, Arctic Silver at 7-1 with the Zahn low in the irons. I think this is going to be a huge player, 8-1 and better the rest. Let's kick off with my lurker number 2, Arctic Silver. Just having a look at the Zahn low, the way he's riding, the 4 kgs off the back. This was a horse, I think, down to a 7-2 in the ratings. Could be quite effective for an exacta or maybe an each-way play.
So, Sheldon, there's 3 horses on my radar, and she's one of them. And I hope DAZN watches the show, because Sean Terry's never been scared to use apprentices, and I know that obviously DAZN's based in Durban. He's got his roots in Cape Town, so I suppose Joburg is not the easiest opening for him. But Sean is very keen on using apprentices. History shows he gave Luke Ferraris, Lyle Hewitts, and a number of others opportunities to build through the ranks, not necessarily placing them on a pedestal and giving them all the plums at the start. But I think any jockey in the country would be happy riding Sean Terry's lightweights. And this could be a great opportunity for DAZN to prove himself to Sean and perhaps give an opportunity to visiting a little bit more frequently. Yes, she's on my radar. The main reason why she's on my radar, Sheldon, is the rating drop, as you mentioned. 3rd run after a break, yard in form. I think all that points to a good run from number 2, Arctic Silver, and she's very much in my play. Top choice, I think it's hard to go against number 3, Kiss of Fire, beaten by a very smart up-and-coming long-distance horse in the form of Lava Lamp last time. Again, getting a penalty for a loser, but well clear of the 3rd placed horse was number 3, Kiss of Fire. She's in the form of her life. Garish Samabertia gets a tune out of her. And the other horse I've got, and I was hoping for a better price, about number 8, Pomazelis, 3-1. I was hoping to get sort of double that, but anyway, it is what it is. Damien Pillay takes it out for Joe Soma. Soma's yard's in good form. Her last run without blinkers for the first time in a while definitely brought her along the right way. Again, a low mileage 6-year-old daughter of Pomodoro, so she might just have another 1 or 2 in the tank, where some of these others are very much in that place. So that's my line of thinking. In order of preference, 3, 2, and 8. I think you'd probably be safe with those horses in the pick 6, to be honest. Maybe one other if punters have something else on their mind.
On to the lucky last to bring down the curtain, race number 9. We'll keep it brief and sharp, straight to the point with number 2, DeMarco's Jet at 33-10. Number 5, Future Date, 33-10. We then go 7, Boom Boom at 9-2. 9, Pretty Analia, 9-2. Number 1, Free in Seattle is 6-1 with number 4, Key Worker, 10s and better. St. John Gray seems to have a fair chance here with some runners.
Yeah, I think they're both alive here, Sheldon. I think the favourites likely to need the run, DeMarco's Jet. So, although I wouldn't write her off, I think she's pound for pound the best horse in the race. I think coming back from a little break might not be the order of the day. I think St. John's horses, Free in Seattle and Future Date, are 2 horses to take seriously. Interesting that Carly's on Free in Seattle, because I prefer Future Date. But funny enough, I think the one they all need to beat is number 7, Boom Boom. I'm very keen on her chances. 51.5 kilograms on the back, beaten by a very smart youngster in the form of Mamlambo last time. If you like Future Date, Boom Boom's got it absolutely held on the run on the 14th of August, held to a ridiculous level. I think she'll turn that form around, and she's my idea of a bit of value in the final race.
Well, thanks very much, Alistair. But before we let you go, for all your followers out there, we're going to bring up your suggested bet for the day. Take it away.
Yep, it's The bar pot gets underway at 12:30, early start. In the opening leg, 6 Geostorm and 11 Space Mission. Then gone 2, 4 and 5, Opera Fan, Blind Fire and Time for Charity. 2 and 4, Francilian and Kamati River. Fifth race, interesting, 1 Dice, 2 Truth, 5 Mount Pinatubo and 9 Dreamland. Got a few horses again in race 6, 5 Mastership, one of the value plays on the day, 7 Birthright and 11 Palace Prince, and finish off with the banked win number 2, Page Boy, and then a nice little each way play in the final race on Boom Boom number 7 on the card.
As is always the case, thank you very much, Alistair. Always the hard work on the ground, and thanks very much for the input, and I'm sure the viewers really appreciate it. All the best, and take it easy.
Yeah, Sheldon, same to you, same to all the viewers. Have a wonderful time, and we'll chat again going into the weekend.
Thanks very much to Alistair Cohen joining us on the line for the meeting at the Vaal. We've gone through it with comprehensive intake, and hopefully the horses we found are some value on the card. Hit them hard, and let's hope they come through.